And we are live. Welcome back, guys. Good to see you for a special Flat Earth British comeback post. Wiggly flat thumbs to you all, and welcome. Welcome to you on what is the 4th of July in America land. So happy 4th of July, all of you. Yeehaw! Well done. Well done for whatever you're celebrating. Well done. I'm with you. I'm with you. Crack that bell. Today, will be an American flavour. We're going to look into what was briefly for a little while before New York and then Washington, D.C., which was formerly Rome, Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, I've been looking into the origins of this city and the building of it, and the architecture is just unbelievable. I'm going to talk about the first ever American Expo or World's Exposition, the Centennial Exposition that marked 100 years of the victory of the War of Independence, and they had the first exposition in Philadelphia in 1876, and it had a terrible demise. 800 buildings. I don't think the Expo had that many, but maybe the whole of Philadelphia burnt down. The questions are in this is when I show you this unbelievably massive civilization that exists in America in the later half of the 20th century, you're going to wonder why they never taught you about this in the history books, and you're going to think to yourself, why do they always show us prairies, tumbleweeds and wild west for America in the movies then? Fucking good question. That is a real good question, because you've got massive cities in the mid 1800s. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at Philadelphia. It's getting a bit bad press, but lots of places are. And we're going to have a little bit of me hanging around with you lot in chat and doing stuff like we do. And a comeback post. Flatter Day is on. I'm going to be back for Flatter Day. Okay, so all is good. Spellerine is in the house. Okay, let's give you a few of you shouts. So Sonia Testament is in the house. She's going to be coming to UK and Europe on a tour. And D-Jack is in the house. What's the deal with your boy? What's the deal with your boy? Oh, I don't know, mate. Maximus, what the fuck is about Farticus? Is it all about what's it all about, Farticus? I don't know. Look, this Day-Jack guy, I've never seen him before, and he's just trying to fucking stir up shit or somebody, so I'd rather him not there, because that is not what we're going to be doing today, because that is like what the whole internet is like, but it won't be like it here. I'm spoiled. I'm not going to do it. Son of Overbrook. I love this man. I was born and grew up in West Philly for 30 years. Where's your son of Overbrook? Look at you. So, yeah, it's Welsh origin, Philadelphia. If you look into it, they built it. They had the coal mines there in Philadelphia, as you know, and there's a lot of places like Bryn Mawr and other places, Welsh names in Philadelphia. You find many, many of them. Squizzle Sniper is in the house. Nice one, Squiz. Vanessa Stable. Good to see you, lovely. And Squirrel saying hi to Cher. And Kinelli. Oh, fucking hell, Kinell. Where you been? Where you been, Bonnie lass? I haven't seen you for years. Oh, I know this lady. I met her years ago. I think it was 2018. Birmingham Convention, one of them. So I Kinell. Good to see you again, love. Tiger Man McCool. What? And Gavin. Independence Day, my epic, lovely. Yes, Independence Day. Let's celebrate that epicness. See, when you win a war or something, you know, when we apparently won the war with Germany, we didn't name Norfolk New Germany, did we? Because that would make no sense. You know, you win the War of Independence and you name one of your states New England. I'm just saying. What's with that? Anyway, Hippie Shake. Maybe there was no victory. Jonathan and SM and Bob Sykes is in the house. Hiya, Bob. He's our John Wicks. Bob is our John Wicks. Okay, don't touch his dog. And there's my brother Trinity. You can see him in my descriptions box on my community page yesterday. Share his channel. I'll get over there and sub to my brother Trinity 4. We had a brilliant time on the weekend. We went to a festival. You may have seen because he's splattering all over my channel. We were on a ley line. So what we did, we put a massive splattering of love into the realm. Yeah. And do you know what happened? They went, oh, what the fuck is this? They didn't like it one bit. Because everyone's supposed to be really unhappy and miserable and sucked off. And then when you got people like, you know, being free and having a good time. They don't like that shit, guys. They don't. They make it really hard for you to be happy. They stamp their foot. No, how very fucking dare you? If I'm not happy, you're not happy. Because they're not happy. Even with $1 billion, they're not happy. Hiya, Jennifer Levy. I think Mr. Rasta is in the house. Hi there, all. Bringing the vibes on our flat plane. Yes, on our wiggly platforms. This is the year of the wiggle. We're going fuzzy next year. Wiggle this year, fuzzy next year. Well, I'll have a think about it anyway. Ponder it now. I'll sleep on it. See what we come up with. But Mike Fletch, one of my homies from Wales land, a place that is getting more popular in America. Initially, no one ever heard about Wales, but since I've been on the scene, I've done more for Wales than the Welsh Tourist Board. I want somebody to actually send a letter to the Welsh Tourist Board and tell them that. Anyway. Donna Hughes, hugs to you as well, Don. And little Misty World, we met Misty World as well. She's lovely. We love you, Misty World. She's so cute, cuddly. Oh my God. And Joy as well. There's a fucking load of you we've met. See, Squirrel, yet to meet Squirrel. Squirrel's met Dave, and Dave's met Squirrel, but Martin hasn't met Dave and Squirrel together. I'll have to make that a plan. So that festival was shit. Oh, I would act. Thanks, Hippie. There you are. There's my friend Dave's channel. True gentleman and a warrior. So Abigail Faith, Martin, Lovey's and Wiggly Flatfirm, still beautiful South Africa. We love you too. Anyway, let's get on with the saying highs and stuff. I'm rather enjoying this. Upside Down Nowhere Man. Oh. That's for people who like live in Australia, think they're on a globe. Marianne. There's Marianne. Dimples. Hi, Marianne. Lovely. And there's Dean, my friend, who's awesome taste in music. He's got a very good taste in music, like myself. Hang on. Okay. Son John. Greetings from FEMA Region 9. It's not that bad. Let's silver line a minor here. Britain is awesome at the end of the day. And Cardiff, where I come from, is voted the friendliest city in Britain. You can actually come here and actually have people being nice to you, because that's what Welsh people are like. But this history has proved that has been taken advantage of. Taking advantage of people's good nature. That's got certain consequences in this realm, methinkers, in the long run. Where are you touring, Sonia? Yeah, tell us, Sonia. We're gonna come and love bomb you on your tour. Colleen. Oh, Palm Springs. Look at you. I'm in a very wet and miserable Britain. We made the most. I think summer was that on the weekend. I think we made the most of it, so that's good anyway. Sheila Lewis. Good to see you, lovely. Okay, we're going to have a think about the expositions. We're going to start with Philadelphia. There's going to be a few things in this you probably didn't know. I actually wasn't aware of a lot of the facts in this that I'm going to be showing you now. That's why I'm sharing with you. And we've got another juicy post to come only in 2 days' time. So I'm not going to milk this because I'm going to milk Saturday, Flatterday. Okay, the wiggly fun Flatterday. So I'm going to show you just some of the footage. We've got some sterling footage of the convention, the festival. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I would love to be able to do one myself. Yeah, I would love to be able to somebody to give me some land to stage some bands, and I'd sort all the rest out. With my connections, get a good load of people there. Wales, I will visit hopefully soon. My father's family is from there. And Donna Hughes, I think you'll find everybody's father is eventually from here if you dig back further enough. Okay. And there's Kathleen Miscati. Much love to you, lovely Kathleen. Murphy's Law. Whoa, Murphy's Law. I've seen you for a spell, mate. Where you been, bro? Okay, good to see you. And Delight. Delight. Ding, 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 ding. Groove is in the heart. Yeah. Unfortunately, that was the only good song Delight sung. Guess what they had on in Glastonbury? Doreen with Professor Brian Cox as their keyboard player. Don't watch it on YouTube and give them a fucking view, please. No, you can. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying. Okay. Dreams can only get better. Boats go over the quay, because I'm Brian Cox and I got a professorship. John Neo, are you John Levy in disguise? I'm just getting that John Levy buzz. But if you're not, much love to you. And if you are, much love to you. I love Wales. They're not that type of Wales, but it doesn't matter. Maximus. He's a real nowhere man sitting in his real nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Yeah, that's a total waste of lifeage, that is, mate, if anyone's doing that. Petronius, good to see you. I think you're my Greek brother somewhere from Greekland. Good to see you. And Gregory Leon Watson, happy fictitious colonial independence day. Shh, Jeffrey, no, we're pretending. We're pretending historical narratives are real. Okay, for today, so we can celebrate something. Bullshit, doesn't matter. Lying Brian the Cox. That didn't come out of my mouth. That came out of someone else. Terry Davis. I voted today. I voted Marty Farty in the ballot paper. I put an X next to it. Did you tell? Nice one, mate. You should. You should. I'm going to be leader of the free world. Oh, it's going to be brilliant. I can't wait. It's going to be good when I'm king of leaves. Martin, king of leaves and trees. Okay. He ruled wisely over the trees and leaves. Okay. And Romanian Bear, my brother, he's here. Okay, yeah, I am really all right. Everything's good. My back's gone after the weekend. It's taken 4 days to recover because, I found I'm not actually at that age to be dancing at raves and things. But you live and learn, and it's great because as you get older, you realise the energy levels are suddenly going to plummet sometime in the near future. So get it in while you can. Dancing, I mean. Okay. Crying box. I only once voted when I was 18 because it was like the first year I was allowed to vote. So I voted Green Party. So I spunked my vote. And I've never voted since because there's no one worth voting for, is there? And it's all bullshit, as we know. Yeah, it's going to be juicy. It's going to be beautiful. Anyway, we've got loads to get through. We're going to start here. Okay, I'm going to share screen. Make sure to share this out. I'll be back on Friday. It is awesome to see you guys. It's been 11 days since I posted, but as you know, festival, Truth in with all the names and Truth. It's been flat smacked 1,000 people in a week, guys, on trains, in taxis, fucking at the festival. How many people? Oh my God, guys. Dolores Cahill, she's my new bro. Professor Dolores, and she's flat as fuck. Well, she's not my bro, she's my sis. You know where I'm coming from. Okay. And plus others, many others. Okay. Right, let's start here. The Philly Expo in 1876, it was the first. So if you look at maps of Philly of that time, there is absolutely massive buildings there. But the exposition hall, it's the first. And the exposition halls are like for giants. They are massive. You'll find that a few important things happened. The Liberty Bell was first displayed here. As you know, it's been in Philadelphia. This is later on. I'm getting ahead of myself a bit. But this is what it looked like later on. And you see this big cog steel thing here that was part of this destroyed exposition. Well, that got to the exposition on the back of this little card. How did they get all that there in the age of horse and cart? Look at this foundry. So this is 1876. All right, Philadelphia is famous for steel. The steel that they had in the World War II for the tanks, etc., was good, strong Philadelphia steel, which is famed for, and coal. This was the first one in America. Oh my God, look at the size of it. They got a grand pavilion built for giants. It's in, look at this, in the middle of a field somewhere. And it's got all the Phoenician fountains outside. And this is massive, guys. Look at it. It's just humongous. And, they're obviously looking to the models of Britain with the great expositions there. But somebody or some organization or some power, that should not be, is sharing their plans and building everywhere in the world these things. Were they built in the 1800s? I don't think so. Can you destroy glass and steel with fire? I don't think so. This is a little bit later. This is a bit of the San Francisco exposition. And what you find is they'll say that the buildings were built by temporary. This is the narrative when you Google it. Is they're built by temporary products. You can see like plasterboard covering, plaster of Paris, just shit. And it all just gets built. This massive civilization. It's used for less than a year, and then apparently it's all just either an accidental fire. In the case of Philadelphia, 800 buildings, so they say. So, like the whole of the city, central of the city, then. And in the case of San Francisco, they had a giant, as you know, earthquake and subsequent firestorm. But that was before the expositions. This is what is left of the Philadelphia Exposition Hall, which I just showed you after the terrible fire. Can you see the decoration on here? And this is really early, guys. You know, this is the days of Wild West, you know, and this is just a massive, massive development and exactly the same narrative as Chicago, World's Fair, Columbian Exposition is completely destroyed. You know, the Pan Pacific Exposition is not completely destroyed. It's built after a city is completely destroyed. This reverse narrative. Oh my God. This is in Philly, guys. And it's got, you know, not to put too fine a point on it, a very Moorish feel to it. It's like a bit of the Ottoman Empire, isn't it? What's with the Ottoman doors? This looks Arabian. It's got beautiful little onion domes, a minareted type onion domes, Antiquitech, but definitely a Moorish feel to it. And this is a great expositions hall. Absolutely fantastically big. So all done in the days of horse and cart. I find it fascinating the amount of landscaping that happens as well. And in some cases, that I'll show you a little bit later, really, really well developed plants. I remember John Levy picking it apart once, San Francisco, and there was one type of fern there that took 70 years to grow. So whether they bring them in on a horse and cart and then put them in when they're rooted, I do not know. So this is in Philadelphia, part of the expositions, guys. As you can see, you know, it looks like some sort of church device and the massive cymatic window, huge doors with tiny people and probably somatic patterns on each of these. This is some sort of old world device. No, you do not get photographs of these things being built. You get some photographs, but not many when you search online. Maybe somebody could have a look for me. Yeah, medieval, I would say, Jollyman. I would say these are 300-400 years old. That's the time stamp, maybe even older, guys. And there's the bird's eye view of the Centennial Exposition buildings and grounds. always from a bird's eye perspective at the same azimuth. It's always the same angle. I would say, I don't know, 20 degrees, maybe a little bit more. And it's looking down on the exposition. And you get these for, you know, so what? Is somebody's doing this with the blue? Because you can't do it from your mind's eye and get all the trees in. So let's have a look at this huge site. There's that massive pavilion, number 4, which looks a little bit, well, it's called a pavilion, so there's the Indian flavour to it right there. We have a pavilion here in Britain, in Brighton. It's partly built by King George, and it looks like it should belong in Delhi, but it's in Brighton. Look at this massive Tatarian thing here. So huge, unbelievable big crystal palaces on that side there for the exposition. And in such an early time as well, you know, for my recollection, guys, you know, so it's 1876, it's 10 years after the end of the American Civil War. They're supposed to be building it all back after all that devastation, not in Philadelphia, but in the South. And I thought that apparently they never had much money around after the Civil War. I thought that's what it was all about. But what is in these new inventions? Now, all I can make out from these expositions is we're looking at Booty. We're looking at the spoils of war. We're looking at what they stole from the previous civilization in them and the buildings. Found, teethed, more like found. And then maybe if they're digging it out, you know, they can take a bit of credit for finding it if it's in the mud. And then they got all of this unbelievably big machinery. Now, this is 1876. You know, we got this big flywheel here. I can only wonder if this is some sort of generator with a flywheel or a pump for sure. And then you've got to found it and not in one piece, and then you've got to get it to the site. Maybe some of the journey was by railway, but who even knows. So yeah, much love to you, Jolly Man. Thank you for that. If anyone wants to contribute, I'm watching screen. I can see what you're all saying if you want to ask questions or anything. So I couldn't say what these devices are. There's a big connection with presidents and the expositions, I've noticed. President McKinley was shot in one exposition, and then Woodrow Wilson comes in the First World War, and he's buddies with, as you know, sets up the Federal Reserve, and then he's been slave since, and everything went to shit. But that, I don't think that's long lived. Now, what I want to show you, this image here is 1876. What are we looking at there? Well, this here, guys. These two sort of Tesla balls and this device that this thing spins, or it have sparks between them. There's another one over here. Seems to be some sort of antenna. So what? You go up there and you get in on a seat, is it? No. I wonder what it does. But anyway, it seems to have some sort of electrical continuity there, and that is 1876. But they were using electric. I can't get that. Can I get that image bigger? This is a mind blow. Why have they got? And I've seen pyramids in Phoenix, in Memphis exposition. They had pyramids and it looked like Egypt. This is in Philadelphia. Check the fucking buildings in the background, right? They got pyramids. 1876. What's with the big Tesla tower, guys? Just nuts. And the size of the exposition suites. You know, we got a load of railway stations worldwide which look exactly like this. Were they originally oil buildings? I think so. Exposition, greenhouses, crystal palaces, these things should never have burned. They should have been around in the modern day. You hardly see any of them. Dallas coincidentally has a crystal palace still standing from its exposition, I noticed, but it's only a small one. Okay. And what do they bring in? Spoils of war for the new arrivals to check out. 1871. What's that doing there? It's a fair comment, guys. That's supposed to only be there temporary. I'll show you the dates and all of the facts and figures behind this exposition in a minute. It'll blow your bloody head off to think that they built all of this from to be used from May the 10th to November the 10th. So they built all of this and that whole civilization to use it for 6 months. 6 months, really. And then it all has a terrible fire and everything goes to shit. Well, I don't think it takes a genius to work this shit out, really, guys. Let's move on. So there's the pictures of Philadelphia. Now, the Centennial International Exhibition, officially opened to manufacturing products of the soil and mining stuff, and was held in Philadelphia from the 10th of May to November the 10th. So they built this massive thing, okay? Millions of people apparently coming to visit him. McKinley, all of these great people. Excuse me, not McKinley. He's not around yet. Ulysses S. Grant, the president to be, literally is in this exposition as well. Oh, good old Ulysses, commander of the Union Army in the Civil War. Anyway, so they had a major fire in Philadelphia. coincidentally, just like all the others. And this one tore through 65 acres. You've any concept of how big an area that is, guys? 65 acres of the city, so like all the fucking city then, guys, and destroyed nearly 800 buildings. After two devastating events, two major cities, I'm only presuming that they mean Chicago, 1871, completely destroyed, infrastructure of the entire fairground completely gone, and the exposition, only a few buildings left. Because stone and metal and all of that burns, apparently. So the organisers, whoever they are, a very suspicious organisation, they organised the first World's Fair and knew their greatest fear was fire. Well, that makes zero sense. Spend all that money when you're building a new civilization, you know, like the civilization that's supposed to be there, the 1800s one, guys. But we'll just sidetrack all of that building for a minute. We'll build this bullshit fairy tale world over here that looks absolutely stunning. We'll keep it open for 6 months and then we'll burn the fucking thing down. Really? All of this is the biggest court case in human history, guys. Obviously, these things were here already. It's obvious to me. There's tiny evidence, you know, what the shills bring forward with their, oh, fucking hell, these things were built. Look, these were built. No, all the photos I've ever seen, they're already there. They're just shells, like they've been ransacked or underwater or flooded. So, no, fuck that. These are too anomalous. Okay, moving on. So 16 people, including 12 firefighters, were killed in the Colombian exposition. Here it is here. This one, Chicago's big fire, also the Bastille event that happened further east, further west than that, which is associated with it. So there's a loss of death and there's huge firestorm as well in Chicago. And you can see these towers and all these buildings apparently burning. So Chicago and also Philadelphia, the same old story. Okay. A cold storage facility. What was it? Was it one witness? One witness reported seeing flames. Okay, we're moving on. Now, these are absolutely special pictures, these of the early World's Fairs. We have the St. Louis World's Fair, which was the Louisiana Purchase World's Fair, and the Chicago World's Fair, the Columbia Exposition, and the Pan Pacific Exposition in San Francisco. Okay, so it's electrified. So I've been looking into how all of this was actually impossible in America. I'm going to get to that later, not in this post, but later on the journey, how they were generating all of this charge. Because in the case of the first electrified city, Buffalo, they had to have the Erie, Tesla, Edison power stations on Niagara Falls to power it. So, and then machines are too big to be even in there for that era. I just want to add. And then this temporary city is all electrified, but the rest of the world isn't. Does that make any sense to you at all? No. I put it to you that we had free energy and we had this architecture, and this is what the world looked like before we basically had to take over, properly invaded. Completely different history, guys. The history is just nothing to do with real life, what they told us. Look at this. And the excuses. Oh, we built all of this for 8 months. Let's just examine all of this, guys, for a minute. Now, if you can see that in the background, that's the one I just showed you that was coming down in the Chicago fire, okay? With the quadriga, the arch. So let's just check. You know, this is supposed to be built temporary. Okay, well, maybe the ivy's just been put up there on a runner and it's done it in one summer, because the ivy's traveling up this wall quite high, isn't it? And over here as well, this shrubbage is really big. So look at the color and the detail in this. Temporary. See, that's what gets me, that narrative of temporary, you know. Even though it's small time spans, it's just the effort. It's just over and over. They just seem to have if this was a true narrative, they have inexhaustible amounts of money. They can burn down cities and shit new ones out, no problem whatsoever. Like, no problem whatsoever. Like Chicago, for example, or San Francisco. And then they can just scrub it. So it's just like, oh, it's just an earthquake. The entire city looked like Holocaust, but we'll just scrub that and we'll carry on regardless. So you're telling me that's a new pillar? Because that looks like the old world to me, guys. Just gets the feel of the old world, doesn't it? And the size of these trees, my God. How did they grow so quick? Or maybe they were just there already and they put this giant arch over the tree. No, that makes no sense, does it? Because the tree would probably die, unless this is south-facing, of course. Or that this was here all along, and this tree was inside there, or near to it all along. Because it looks older to me. Oh, my God. What can I say, guys? Look at these domes. Glass dome. Looks like you've got a landing pad on there for a helicopter. Glass dome, glass dome, glass dome, glass dome, glass dome, glass dome. What if that is exactly what this place looks like? No, we're in the middle of the inertia plane of the center dome, and you've got all these other domes, the smaller ones, and they're just like microcosm in it, because they does it with four angels. They literally copy the electromagnetic structure of this place with four angels, four towers on each corner, dome on top. They do that. So why wouldn't they do it showing us the place of the earth? What a place where we live. What if it was like that? Just chucking that out there, because that is so unusual style to be conceiving for somebody of what is apparently the Victorian era. Make sense? So let's have a look at the grounds. Okay, we got some advanced treeage going on. I would say that's quite big, but that, give it the benefit of the doubt, that could have been there already. So they haven't got permanent paths, have they? This is just mud, isn't it? So they didn't lay any paths in front of that. See, that doesn't ring true either, does it? Just to have grass in front of a building with such quality, does it? All of that to be used for less than a year in this case, and then gone. Does that make sense? No. Nothing makes sense. The way the people are, their style, their clothes is just absolutely beautiful. Considering they say, oh yeah, I haven't got washing machines or anything. There's a bit of rubbish there, huh? You see that there? A little bit of trash there and there. So yeah, they were supposed to have plowed millions through, and all they are is exhibits. You can't buy anything. You've got exhibits, things like anything from combs to plates to railway engines to balloons to babies. I mean, the incubators. They got all of these things in these great exposition halls for people just to look at. Look at what Russia looks like. Look what England looks like. Let's tell you what the world looks like, and what the people, the natives from these places, what they look like. They had human enclosures here, like zoos, with human beings in them in these expositions. So these towers here, there's pictures of these coming down. Apparently this is all plaster. God knows what would have happened if this had a storm and a really big rainstorm. All of this would turn to a big splodge of paper mache, wouldn't it? But that didn't happen, did it? So, and then trees look properly old and advanced. But given the benefit of the doubt, they were there already and they just built the wall up next to them. Because we've got to give them the benefit of the doubt. Wow. So yeah, these are colorized. These are not the original images. Obviously, they've been digitally colorized. So they are altered, which is why we're not getting a vanilla sky now. We would have a vanilla sky, I feel, on these. There's a bit of a phasing on the edge of that Antiquitech minaret tower. Can you see that? So that would be the digital enhancement. Okay. But they are beautifully done, and it's well worth seeing. You know, it gives you a feel of what it might have been like to walk around these places when they're in colour. So we got a little castle. This will be a little bit of one country. That'll be another one. Look at this rotunda. The effort to it all, which makes no sense to me. So the reasoning behind it, when you look into the narrative, that makes no sense either. Oh, we smashed all these buildings down, or if there was a fire, we needed to get rid of all the buildings to replenish the land. Replenish the land. Well, that didn't happen anywhere. They just built shit on top of the old shit. This is like an old English pub look. Just absolutely insanity. This is in America. Look at the quadriga. I bet that's an original quadriga from the ancient world. That's my suspicion. Same style as St. Peter's Square in the Vatican. You got the fasces, eagle, or some eagle with their arms open, looks like an eagle, the fountains. Absolutely beautiful, but it's that classical theme, isn't it? Look at these. These are weird, aren't they? Things with circles on. Set the controls for the heart of the sun. And obelisks. So yeah, it all looks like it's fitted up for antiquity. See, that gives me the feeling of age and not newness. I look at that, I'd be like, wow. But it gives you a feel for what we would have been walking around before Armageddon. This was the world. And it was beautiful. And I imagine how enriching this was to consciousness to walk around this sort of civilization with all the lakes and the trees and sublime architecture, you know, sacred principles included. Oh my God, just imagine it. I bet you they, oh no, you can see they're separate columns actually. I see a line there and a line there. But that's one thing, you know, in this narrative is how to, you know, especially with the bug and carty narrative, like you can't build this world with cars. Benefit of the doubt, you know, you can look at the Flatiron building and in New York, the first skyscraper, and you can see that being built. But like I've always said, I don't look at stuff after 1900 because stuff was being built after 1900. You get photographs. So the Flatiron in Times Square in New York, you can see photographs that being built, and you can see some carts dropping wood off to a shed next to it, and then it's being pulled up on a hoist in 1909. And that there was a tram car there that could have brought wood in. So I'm trying to work on the feasibility. Would that work? Maybe in the center of a major city, but this, I really can't say. There's no railways in here. This is just massive masonry and the planning and the laying out. You know, when you get to the end of a building job, there's always like a shitload of snagging to do, what they call snagging, bits and pieces that are just not fixed. This place is immaculate. It's pristine, except for that bit of rubbish we've seen earlier, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. That's going to be moved by the end of the day. There's a wire coming off there. And you see the end of a ship here with a ram. That's because it's on a totem, a Phoenician totem. We've seen them all over, haven't we? Which is just out of shot. Big castle wall going down there as well. So this would be above. And there's a down as well. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, look at that thing. This could be in Seville in Spain, doesn't it? It could easily be in Spain. Or Portugal. Look at all the lovely bits and beauty on that. The effort involved in that. Tiny little people. Massive, massive arches. God, they must have had all the money in the world to do this stuff. Which makes no sense, because that's not the narrative, is it? Everyone was pissed poor and the world was struggling, apparently. But yeah, let's just build this. Look at it. Jeez. Size of that dome, though, guys. I'll meet you in St. Louis. That film, you can see the St. Louis exposition in the film Meet You in St. Louis. I think it's with Judy Garland. This is like a fascist lamppost as well. But yeah, fully electrified these were as well. Massive, you know, why build for the giants when there's no giants at this time, apparently? Makes no sense. That fern tree in the corner there, that's not 6 months growth. Why would you bring a tree in that big and plant it that big? All these trees are really big. That makes no sense either. Imagine waking up in the morning, looking out your window and seeing that. It's just beautiful. And that is the world of 130 years ago, 40 years ago, and it all looks like that. What's it look like now? Well, it's all covered in this urban graffiti. But you can't see the urban graffiti very well because of all the tents that are up against the walls. That's how bad we are now. Not silver liner miner, eh? It can get better. But, you know, it's got to get worse first. That's how you heal it, though, isn't it? That's how you get everyone to learn their lesson and stop being shits, guys. Is, you know, when it's all got the shit falling apart, it's like, oh shit, it's too late now. It's like, ha! No, click of a finger, we just caught it in time. Well done of you to spot that. But they're going to need to hurry up with it because really, you know, clock's ticking away, isn't it? And they've been a bit at this time stubborn and facetious, but I'm definitely think they will come around. Something needs to be done about television is the only thing, because, you know, if it ain't on television, it ain't true. Literally, a friend of mine said in the shop the other day, she said, I can't wait to go home, sit my fat ass in the chair and watch telly. So her and another fucking 40 million people in Britain. So that's what we're up against. So there they are, the lovely Victorian people, the Tatarians, if you want, all covered up. Black suits, morning clothes, umbrellas to keep you sheltered from the sun. Every single person, including the children, have a hat on. Everyone has a hat on. Must be a reason for that. Maybe they're just all baldy. No, maybe they are. Okay, let's move on. So, Paris Exposition. Now, they had a load of crazy architecture that got completely destroyed. I'm going to whiz through a few of these. We've got 400 of you watching. Hi, guys. Good to see you on Thursday night. This is a precursor, a warm-up to Flatterday, which is they're happy hats, Misty World. Of course, they're happy hats. Victorians have got a sense of humour. There are loads of pictures of them of having a giggle. They like theatre and stuff. Okay. So, nice golden dome. This is Paris. A lot of these places, which I'll show you now, are incorporated in the expositions, like the starting, like the 1851s up to the 1909s. There were many, but the Opera House in Paris, wow. These are colorized, but they are golden and copper domes, so gold leaf. These little horse and buggies, handsome carriages. Loads of poo on the ground. They must have known, you know, there must have been cars or something in the past that needed or required a road this broad and this at the end, because there's only tiny little people and horses and carts. It makes no sense. So when you get there, what's inside? Well, they're light bulbs for a start off, aren't they? They're light bulbs, 100%. Let's have a look at this. Oh yeah, they're light bulbs. You got on like sort of candles there, but with light bulbs there. Okay. I'm really early for electric. Okay, the electricary scam. So the amphitheatre. Some Phoenicians, got the old posing Tauruses, you know, with lots of stuff we've seen before. But look, these things, sure, these one pillar of beautiful marbles. Marble comes from different places in the world, everywhere from, I don't know, everywhere from Lebanon to China. It doesn't matter. There's some marble here as well, but these different marbles are pink marbles. These are international. You have to bring them from far away. And then you've got to get them in there and then up there. And these blank panels as well, that got to be a clue. Why build, you know, these Phoenician faces, and then you've got these panels, these plaques, these mirrors with You know, if they are mirrors, they're mirrors, but if they're not, they're plaques, and there's no information, and that's everywhere in the world. And then you get the temple at the end of the street. And I bet that is selected for where it's put, the circuit board nature of this place. These are relatively new trees as well, I've noticed, on this avenue. Check the size of that tower. Where's that? Western Parish, Jacques. So I bet you could land our balloon on that. Maybe you had a spire before, but that is a supremely high tower. Let's move on. Look at that. Check that out. So again, a colorized image, but oh, look at this. So we have one bell up there. This tower here looks like the one that was on Notre Dame Cathedral that got burnt years ago in some sort of anomalous fire. Beautiful window. So, old Gothic church in the centre of Paris. They've got so many of them, and you might recognise that. That is Notre Dame Cathedral. It's a strange looking church. You can see the top of that there, a little like Antiquitech tower thing. That got burned. I literally called that, and I called what they built after it as well. Magically, I did that. So yeah, that looks like a shit ton of it's missing, doesn't it? It looks like it should have some spires, but just little tiny things. Home of the very famous Quasimodo, and probably part-time Esmeralda popped in now and again. Esmeralda! Not being cruel. That might be a true story. So, the size of that thing. Again, it's not a church really, is it? I don't know. A massive somatic pattern. Beautiful tower. And so much decoration. It is unbelievable. Absolutely beautiful world before us. Obelisks and columns all over the world. This one's a ginormous one. I bet you there's a door. There is. See the door down there? And that would be its original purpose, or very fascist like original purpose. Balloon comes in, couples up, step out. There's a door up there. I know you could observing up there, observation tower, and then you come down at the door, and you're delivered right into the centre of your city-wide balloon, which was going on. The Eiffel Tower was built as a part of an exposition. Let's have a look at this feature here. It looks a bit burnt, doesn't it, and dirty. And it's the faceless night setup we've been talking about for years on Flat Earth British. Obelisk, Egyptian obelisk. It is Cleopatra's Needle, one of three, I believe. And here is a Phoenician totem. I don't know if you can see this here with the boat on it. Ship. See them everywhere in major cities, from St. Petersburg to Rome. This thing, it gets taken down in 1871 and blown up in the Franco-Prussian War. And in fact, most of these buildings around here all get gutted by bombing, apparently. But this thing, 1871, again with the door, observation tower, or landing platform of the old world. Anyway, yeah, they get rid of that 1871. That thing's a goner. Laying on the floor, I've covered it many, many times. So, ooh, nice vaulting, gold leaf. Probably because gold's got electromagnetic conductive properties, has it not? It's a really good conductor. So that would be why they use it, because this is all a type of a conduit. Okay, I know we can't see the tech, but that is the inside of a computer. They're the wires, if you like. That's one way of putting it. Fascist technology, fiber optic communications, a good analogy for that. So, Europa, whichever one it is, Phoenician, Lede, if they are, and the Republic of France in the year of 883, it says on there. That's the second time in a week that's happened to me. So is that 1883? Is that 883? Maybe that's founding of the city. A huge Phoenician presence in this city, and it is properly evil as well. It's in all sorts of horror films. I mean, they got like all them dead bodies underneath it. Wants to live under all them dead fucking bodies anyway. Spooky people. So yeah, you got no cars. They haven't been invented yet. Left or right haven't been invented yet, but you've got a road this broad. Yeah, but if you've got a big balloon and you come down the center of this street up to the towers, that wouldn't actually be a problem. You could literally come in nice and low, tree height even. Everyone waving from their windows to the people in the balloons. Ah, it'd be lovely. I've used that as a thumbnail before. I love this picture. Just shows how beautiful your world is. I go back to horses. Okay, I'd like a horse. The donkeys. I like donkeys, and you could put like stripes on the sides of your buggy to make it go faster. Yeah. And the Paris Grand Noir. This is the big wheels they had everywhere in the world. I showed you one in Chicago, and there was one in White City in London that got torched. The one in Chicago got torched, and I don't know what happened or the demise of the one in Paris, but I can have my suspicions that 1871 Franco-Prussian War might have done some of it. Apparently, they're building all this while they're at war with the Prussian states that eventually become Germany and set up Germany, and all the trouble happens later. See, I think that's when the takeovers happened. You know, with Germany to set up, I think that was a crucial time, a crucial date in this takeover. And I think they mopped up and they were keeping it going with it until the modern day, until now. I think it's still ongoing. World War One, World War Two, pure psyop, nothing to do with what they told us to do with. I know what it was, and I know what was going on. Now I do. And it was a war against this civilization, and it was a war against that architecture, and it was a war against what we were. They don't want us waking up and finding out what we were. People who have built stuff like this, yeah, that consciously evolved, yeah. They don't want that. They want thick fucking fat people wobbling along down the road doing as they're told, don't they? Not building this. That's where they got us. Turning point is now. See if I can. We gained a lot of ground. It was a good, sign for me from the creator. What happened on the weekend? I was a different man coming back. There's no doubt about it. It felt like something had happened. And it was a reminder of who we can be. We spent the whole weekend with no fear, nobody really just caring about anything. It was it just felt free. And it was like Glastonbury used to be when I was young, or Woodstock used to be when it happened. All the people getting together, sharing, loving, hugging. My God, it was so fucking awesome. And I couldn't help, but everyone was saying, can you imagine if we had a village like this? Can you imagine if we lived like this? How happy we'd all be. And yeah, it's very true. They would make it really, really difficult for us to do that. So talking about that, I get an email this week again. Somebody saying, oh, Martin, is Bavaria happening? I'd like to run away. Okay. Well, when that was happening, Bavaria, and I had the breakaway civilization, as it all went to shit anyway, a few people did go in that, but I had other land, and I chucked all my efforts into it. And at the time, no one gave a fuck. That was in 2019. Then COVID happened, and now it's after, and everyone's all traumatized and thinking, oh shit, why if shit comes on fucking road like that again? I really want to get away. And it's all gone now, so I haven't got any of that now. But you're welcome to try it. I think we should do something like, because with these communes and that, there's always hierarchies. It might be okay for some people, guys, for a man like me. I can't have people telling me what to fucking do with a day. Yeah. So that's not going to work for me. Yeah. I'm just like that. I'm happy to help, and I'm happy to do what everyone else is doing. I can't take people who are not pulling their weight. That makes me nutty, literally. So there's that. And people like who are on an ego trip, trying to fucking, some young smug bastard who tries to tell you what to do. He's going to make me nutty. So that wouldn't happen either. So we're not going to be able to do that. So, but there has to be a way. to be able to get back to our roots, to who we are. Because this thing, it's not tenable, guys. There's no way they can carry on with this. It's fucked, and you all know it. What next? Nice big world war? Oh shit. So this had Antiquitech on it. This got burnt in a fire because apparently metal burns in a fire. There was a restaurant in here. They had a fire in the restaurant, and something wrong with the perspective of this. Sometimes it seems really small under here, and in the modern day, 6 lanes of traffic going under here. Almost as like 2 separate worlds. But again, balloon landing platform, Antiquitech, energy gathering device right in the center of the expositions. So what they say, I'm going to show you the narrative in a minute, guys. 429 of you watching, welcome to you guys. So this is all on the banks of the River Seine in the center of Paris, and they're telling you that every single building, except for the Eiffel Tower there, every single building there, they knocked down after a small period of use. They built it, used it for a little bit, knocked it all down, and the reasoning is we wanted to replenish the land. But they didn't do that, guys. They built another load of shit on it. So why would you not leave it there? Temporary. My ass. Look at it. You think if it was temporary and it was only up for a year, they would cut corners to save on money. And they've cut no corners. This is full splash out. See them things in there? They're light bulbs. All of this lights up. All of that lights up. I've shown it before. It's absolutely beautiful. And you've got tram cars, electric trams coming through, no doubt. Yeah. Banks of the River Seine. On the banks of the River Seine. It's quite insane. I wonder why they call the Seine insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane on the Seine. Got no brain, gone to the Seine. Okay. Yeah, right. Just build all that, knock it down again. Makes no sense to man or beast. Just stupid, 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 stupid. Same the world over. They're building this all the world over. Look at this. Chandomar. All of these. See these, yeah? They're there in the modern day. These 2 pillars. That's there. That's there in the modern day. A couple of other things, but all of this, gone. Look at it. So they say, this is my point exactly, though, guys, with this narrative. It's they're saying all this was temporary and it's all gone. So why are they still there in the modern day? And why are there still huge, bits of San Francisco one and Chicago one still around in the modern day? These are still there. So that'll make no sense to they were built temporary narrative if they're there, 100 years plus later, does it? Like, no, that's right, it doesn't. So this is what in French, the Institute of Electrics. This is where all the electrical stuff was put on display, and this thing lit up like a firecracker. This thing was beautiful. Let's have a look at these Victorians, what they're up to. I wonder what their mindset was like. What does he think about? What do they think about? She's thinking, oh, it's bleeding rubbish. He's thinking, oh, how wonderful, how splendid. But maybe she's thinking the same. I don't know. I can imagine it being exciting visiting this if you haven't been to that before. Like going to Disneyland. Only Disneyland's like temporary. This thing's a ship. It's designed the same as a ship. Look at it. Why did you do mud flooded windows for the building that's temporary? Makes no sense. And there's loads of buildings still here with us today that look like that. Look at that thing there. Nice big tree. Just brought that book wrong on a horse and cart. Planter in full size. Stupid narrative. And that is what China looks like if you go visiting the exposition. Lumiere. The Lumiere brothers, the photographers that covered a lot of this period. Only you can't use their work because apparently it's copyrightable, and the descendants of the Lumiere brothers need a few quid. So there's that, apparently. So this looks a little bit Star 40 on the bottom. Just a crazy gate. Who knows what for? Absolutely beautiful. So we're looking at an hour and a half in. I'm not going to make this an impossibly long post today. You're just looking at some beautiful images, catching up with you. If you want to add anything, Lord Racer, good to see you, mate. We can interact. Okay. Roman temple, but that's just like a big wall there behind it. So why would you have the columns there to have a wall behind it? Makes no sense to me either. Seems to be an aerial coming off of that chimney there, but you know it can't possibly be an aerial because of the time span. But yeah, maybe that just allows for the thing, give it the benefit of the doubt to come down and cover the chimney pot, so that you can gas everyone inside the building. I don't know. Makes no sense. Stop the water going down there in case of a flood. Makes no sense either. I don't know. So the Hotel de Ville, it is massive. I've shown it many times on my programs. There in its heyday, and then absolutely demolished by 1871 Franco-Prussian War, and then back again in the modern day. And it's very beautiful. That tower looks a bit out of place. But it looks ancient. The beautiful statues right the way around, all the way around, maybe hundreds of statues on it. So yeah, I mean that looks like St. Paul's Cathedral, doesn't it? The top bit. But not many people around by there. Look at this thing. Oh my God, I'd love to know what was going on with that old chestnut. Wow, have I got a cup of coffee? Fuck. Wow. Thank you. Show, baby. So this is crazy temple. Look, imagine just building that for like what? Exactly. Just to walk around for an exhibit or something. Look at it. What the columns did. I get the, like a heat sink type of thing, but I think these temples are something to do with the mind. And I think you went into them and maybe just psychic communication places. You could connect to another temple if you went into them, because I think they're important. They're all over the world for some reason. So there is Notre Dame from the back. Looking lovely green windows. I don't think they're the original color. So yeah, there's something there. What is that? Don't know. Looks like spotlights, but it can't be because of the period. So this thing here was put there in, I think it was 1853, so the later edition, and then it was burnt down in fire maybe 8 years ago or something. I watched it live. It went crackle, 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 fall, and then it fell into there, and then there was a miracle because it missed absolutely everything. Wow, it was such a miracle. It was holy, it was. Yeah. And then I said, oh, they'll probably put it like they did with the Reichstag. Slap a big glass dome on it. Maybe you'll have some trees in there. An arboretum, maybe some bees. And then they announced like a little time later, oh yeah, we ended up with 10 squillion off this little caper. And we're going to be putting a glass dome over it. We're going to have some bees. We're going to have some trees. It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. So that's the Louvre, apparently the biggest fronted building in the world, or was. A museum where you get that Mona Lisa picture as well. Wonder if they got any toilets. I doubt it. See, if I was going back in time and they had no toilets, just have to go behind a tree, wouldn't you? So the other triumphs. So Adolf Hitler, they took over Paris. They didn't bomb the shit out of it or anything. Well, he wouldn't, would he? Because he's such a top chap. And he come along and he's like, yeah, it's not very good. No, he didn't say in a French accent. He said in a German one. I was talking to him when he was. He said, yes, not very fucking good, is it? It's like, we got a better one in Berlin. Just to stick it into the French extra after all that caper in Verdun. But that was Ludendorff's plan to make France bleed. One psycho. You can't blame entire people for one psycho. If that even happened, anyway. I got some pictures I'm going to show Saturday that are really telling and some clues to whether any of this shit really went down. All the missing millions, the First World War, all the missing dead of all the wars. Are they really getting killed in the battlefield, guys? What about aerial bombing? That makes no sense either, and I'll prove that to you. Makes no sense. None. And I'll explain why. Don't care what they say about pathfinders, etc. It doesn't ring true for British bombing. Bombs landed on Britain. Makes no sense. It's almost as if they was the kindest war that ever was. So we'll be very, very careful not to kill any of you, though, Brits. Okay, Hitler sued for peace over and over again, but Churchill, because of his family ties and his bloodline, his ancestors, the Duke of Marlborough, after all. So he's like, yeah, no, fuck you. And he's like, oh, go on. I really like you guys. It's like, no, I can't. He's like, oh, really? We was hoping we could buddy up and sort this fucking world out before it falls to pieces. And Churchill was like, nah, I ain't doing that. Fuck off. I'm gonna bomb you. So that's how it went down. Toss pot. So time traveling would be good. I'd write some. Mind you, I'd cause all schisms in time and fucking rupture points trying to fix things, wouldn't I? It's best to just leave things be, I think. Especially the weird, highly suspect, broken narrative events of World War II, which is only in my, well, I was going to say within living memory, but it is. There's people still here who were alive in World War II, and their stories, they don't ring true. The people on YouTube, they don't ring true. People will say anything for a few quid in these fucking Eastern Bloc countries back in the day, wouldn't they? I've been there. I'm not talking through ignorance. I'm telling you, that's true. I can just back in the communist and socialist days, things were cheap. Check that beautiful building. And so was life, which still is in some countries. But not sure in good old Britain land and America land. We sort it out. So we don't do that shit here. No. Because civilized, you see. We're gentlemen and gentle ladies. And we love y'all. Just don't fuck with us. I wonder if that's gold. Man, that'd be interesting. Look at these in the Louvre. All of them tables are gold. What is the point? Yeah. No wonder they had a French Revolution after that. Marie Antoinette was like, "No, let them eat grass." So they're fucking starving. She said, "Oh yeah, well they suck so bad, don't they? Useless eaters. Let's be honest, they don't do anything, do they? Fairly." So I know. Guess not. Let's just kill them all then, shall we? And then they had their head chopped off. Such a suggestion. This thing, the Rotunda in San Francisco's exposition, this did get replaced in the 1960s. Some people posted on Mudflood get a bit confused by datings, I've noticed, and you got to get it right, and got to give them the benefit of the doubt. If it's like a big thumping, there's no way that could happen, I would definitely post about it. But if there's doubts, in any way that that could have been there, then I wouldn't personally. But other people don't seem to mind. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, lots of demolished World's Fairs. You can see that tower there. That's the tower I showed you earlier. Sorry, it's a little picture, that one there, in San Francisco. So yeah, there's Chicago. Nothing left except for dust. Belgian Village Exposition exhibit. So yeah, highly suspect. Let's move on. Excuse me. The Paris Expo, they've had a few, but this one, the early one, was showing, I'm not sure if they're some sort of battery, but they're going up to a center thing here with a ball on it, like 4 little balls like Tesla, Van de Graaff generator type balls. These are types of batteries. I don't know how much power they could produce and what exactly they could do, but you know what? That is a really early energy device. But you can see loads of examples of free energy devices like this, which you see all over. All over, we've shown you these for the knobbly bits you see on churches, and they're literally selling them there. Knobbly bits. Is it for your garden, or does it actually do something? High technology. Galvanic batteries, I'm not sure, but it's definitely along the realms of what I would interpret as free energy devices. These things here, you know, I could imagine the sparks going between them, and this here turning, driving a charge, and these storing huge amounts of energy from the spark that comes across from here to here into that ball, and literally charges them batteries, free electric, I think. Amazing. And there is in a plan, and I think that's how it's working. I think they're definitely charging up these battery cells using the ether. Is what I think. Okay, let's move on. So, coming up to 2 hours. This is the Paris Exposition. These are lithographs. I'm not going to show you a load of them. I'll just show you one or two. I have shown them in the past. This is not a photograph. They say that somebody done a lithograph of this. Now, I'm telling you, I can't believe this is possible, humanly possible. They say, oh, the artists were in competition who could make it look most lifelike. I think there's an alternative technology going on here. You can't tell me that's not a photograph. Look, guys, and this is, you know, an artwork of sorts. I think it's a mixture of both. Photograph. Now that's more your artist impression. Still a lot of detail. And that is 1889 Exposition Hall. And again, this thing here looks like a free energy thing. You see it, the dome with the 4 angels on it. So many of them. I've posted about them for years. I've pulled hundreds of them now. I definitely think that was a thing because they're electrified, aren't they? The great expositions. Okay, this is a really juicy coffee. What's that, Petros? You put limits by covering and control over humanity. Exactly, yeah. The control, though, that they had, you know, I think they're losing it, though. I really do think they're losing their grip. You know, guys, if you got a table with just half a dozen really awoke people, right? That's enough to change the entire realm because magical powers would be off the radar. So, you know, I think that's enough. Martin Lara. Oh, I got a cousin called Lara, Marty. I think it's doable. And I think we're going to find the keys to what we're doing, yeah? The keys to the realm before we die, not after, before, so we can know, so we can leave breadcrumbs for who's to come after us, and we can let them know. It's not so, you know, when you get a bit older, it's not so much about you anymore, it's about who's to come next. And, you know, do you want them like, oh, yeah, fucking just going into this weird narrative that they got now? I don't. Fuck that. Rainbow fucking world. Fuck that shit. Excuse my language. Try not to swear. Not really. Fuck it. So yeah, let's move on. So expositions, yeah, they're jolly good, aren't they? A load of shit you can buy, or not buy, I mean. And then you get to down by here. All you get for the exposition that is on the Chantemans 1889 disaster is pencil drawings, but all of it ended up looking like that. Ended up looking like that. And this is before the Franco-Prussian War. This is 1889. And then destroyed second time. What about this thing here on top of that? What do you say that is? It's a giant orb thing, and it's got like a coil below it, and a cable on top. Little things here. Really looks highly technological. I don't think it's an observatory. I bet lasers shoot out of it. Something. Okay, look at this. That's a beautiful little picture. Pasteled. And you get like these church altar things. They like, and it says the industrial. So this is in the industrial part, and it's like something that goes in a church because they're tech. Same with the organs, technology. And these things, you've been under an orgonite generator. I have. I've been under an orgonite pyramid, and it's very similar to this. And I think you sit there on that comfortable seat, have a rest underneath this orgonite generator, which would invigorate you and would help you, probably heal your pain. And what sort of things? Well, in this case, okay, this case is full of Jesuses. Yeah, this is the Jesus case. Loads and loads and loads and loads of crucifixes. Thankfully, the right way up. Okay. And a load of other stuff that they're selling, like plates and hairbrushes. Not selling, excuse me, on exhibit. Why would you have hundreds of hairbrushes or crucifixes on exhibit? Because they were once somewhere else, and these are spoils of war. Artworks, great feats of industry, apparently. First, all of it sort of just appears in these places. Lighthouses. Interesting how they're lighting up. I don't think it's what they're saying. And you get this huge gantry that goes up and down the exhibit hall, which is on a giant railway track in the air. So you can like literally be above all of the industrial stuff. Just mind-blowing. Oh, it is a museum, Bon, more or less. Yeah, of course, it's just an exhibit. Great exposition exhibits. World's fairs. Guessing you could buy some things, but these are not for sale. These are what is going to come out in the new world. Ooh, she's got the jokes out. Okay. Right, now we're moving on. Enough of them. Okay. Moving on, moving on. So Paris, yeah, that got demolished. Apparently that exposition I just showed you on the riverbank. This is apparently a real photograph, although it looks like it's a shit imitation photograph or maybe an engraving or something, but they tell you this is it. So this is all temporary stuff, and they're taking it down. Jeez, seem to be having a lot of effort taking it down. It doesn't look particularly temporary. It looks like giant stones to me. Okay. And the museum place, the machine museum place, 1910, getting taken down. Okay, that looks like it would be really tough to take down all that metal and steel, but it's only temporary. Metal's easy to take down, apparently. 1937, everything's replaced, and they have a whole new exposition international. See, that don't make no sense to me either. So let's build it. Quick, let's fucking smash it up. Why didn't they just explode them with explosives? Check, that's the later one at 1930s. Horrible style to it all. But you can see further back here some army images, and you can see that there's some sort of door and a window. A window, can you see that? Underground. Why would you have a window underground, Matt? Well, at some stage that window would have been out looking at the sunshine. What happened? Well, I think this happened. What you can see in this image is a load of mud. And then they come in with endless amounts of horses and carts, some rails and stuff, and they take all of the mud away, apparently. According to that picture. Engraving. Yes, get that fucking mud out, you. And there they go, taking the mud out. And all of this just gets smashed up. Not too many photos, plenty of engravings of this shit going down. Look at this. There's a cave or wherever, a tunnel goes straight under this mountain, and then you've got the main exposition ground for Paris over there. I'm afraid it doesn't look temporary to me, but that's just me. Yo. Oh, there was it was an accident at the exposition. It exploded. A load of people got like marmalized. And that's what it'll look like after. So there's Paris as well as Chicago and Philly. A lot of these expositions, including the Crystal Palace exposition, seem to be disappearing with fire. Small world, isn't it? Big coincidences. Right, we're going to fly through now because I've got like no time left, and I've been on 2 hours. Let me come back for 2 minutes and see what's happening. We're going to talk about some other stuff then for a minute. Look at some pictures of my fun friends and that what we did on the weekend in the Beautiful Sounds Festival that we're going to be doing again. We're doing that again next year. Make sure to make plans to actually go to it, guys, because we had so many people coming forward and say, "Oh, that looked brilliant. Oh, I wish I'd have gone." Yeah, but I like plan 6 months ahead. So you got to like plan to make sure that you go. This is how it works. So. Elaine, what's that sweetness? Great catching you live. Well, I'll be back live flat today. I got some stuff to talk to you about then as well. Martin's your name. So yeah, there was 3 Daves there. So apparently they had a meeting if I could be a Dave. Ian's been made an honorary Dave. Apparently I didn't make the Daves, which I was okay about because I'm really happy being a Martin. Martin, it's okay being a Martin. Okay, Martin rocks being a Martin. And the Daves, love them, love the Daves, but they're just not Martins. No, because they're Daves. They have no imagination. Oh, they know the curved water. They have no imagination. Yeah. Fuck me, if I worked for the Tavistock Institute, this place would be fuzzy. Let me tell you. I buzz so much talking to like-minded beings. This is the same. That's all we did. It's just talking to people about everything, you know, and not being scared to talk about subjects we talk about here. And everybody was talking about everywhere. Yeah. Nobody was kicking off. Nobody was upset. Everybody was groovy. That's what you need to be able to have an open mind and talk to like-minded people. It's as rare as rocking our shit in this place, guys, nowadays. So that's why we need more of these festivals. Yeah, we do. Any investors out there? I'm your man. Not only that, Glastonbury, the biggest festival in the world, it shit the bed. It shit the bed in a big way. They couldn't even find any pop stars. Avril Lavigne, Shania fucking Twain. Yeah. And it was pitiful. They had Coldplay in Glastonbury and they brought on a Michael J. Fox, and he's got Parkinson's disease. It was pitiful. So that's just to drop everyone's vibration in the fucking crowd and say, look what can happen to you. That's you, that is. Raspberry Ripple coming down the road. That's what they're saying. So that sucked. So what happened then, the organisers, Emily Evis and all that, they all had to meet in all the bosses because it must be worth $1 billion to them every year, and the BBC and all of that. And they were like, yeah, we've been watching this footage of this like beautiful sounds tiny little festival down south in Dorset. They had a brilliant time. They all waited outside for like 6 hours and nearly died in the heat. And then they come in and it was a fucking rainbow fest. Nobody enjoyed it. And the bands was shit. So we're going to knock that in the head. Okay, no Glastonbury to 2027. Good. And the man's going to have to go and have a meeting, find out what they're going to do now everyone's waking up. Okay, until that time, okay, because YouTube, we can't really do much on you and say much on you. Where you can say stuff is in the middle of a field in the countryside. Do you get it? That's the next strategy anyway. Nancy, good to see you, Nance Hardwick. Been a while. Grandpa had 100 postcards sent to him. Lady Elise posted earlier, and she found an old spoon from one of the expositions. I think she said it was her mother's or something. I'll link that video up to you later. Take a look at that. She's a friend. Met in Santa Fe. And did you know Santa Fe was once the American capital as well? That's Philadelphia. That's what it says on Wiki. Wizzy. Oh, the Wiki makes a lot of shit up. Bella B. Good to see you, lovely. I wish I could fly right up to the sky, but I can't. You can. I can't. Oh, Orville, yes. Who is your very best friend? You are. Ah, Oh, Orville, yes. Why have you got green hair? Be a guy. Good to see you. Marina Abramovich, don't. Is that stuff out of the news? Don't want to know. Don't want to know about that. Don't want to know about that. Be a guy, but make sure you come to the next festival, okay? With your bum back. Wink, wink. Helen, good to see you. Mud fossils, evidence. Good to see you, my friend. How's things in the mud fossils community? Hope all is well with you all. Show memo. In fact, I hope all's well with all of the different people in the Truther community. They're a feisty little bunch, aren't they? But they're all free-thinking people, so that's going to happen, isn't it? You know. But what we do is keep the happy vibes going no matter what. Are you a 4th of July treat? Yes, yes, I am. I got an American there. I feel partly American. Say 20% American. So yeah, 4th of July, be English or something, wasn't it? Something to do with that. And George, he went nuts. See, he had mental illness, so he didn't really sort the shit out properly. I don't think any of this is real. Don't worry about it, guys. You weren't there. So what are you saying, Kathleen? Tangerine Dream. They're a good band, weren't they? Okay, Henrique, Glastonbury, Satan's stage to control the sleepy frequency. Yeah, man, fucking hell. It used to be a place with hippies, and now all you have is like, they used to have teepee village here when I was a kid, where everyone was just hanging out with a kid. Nowadays, the teepees are for like Rolling Stones brats, their children and stuff, millionaires and stuff. Fucking insipid. Anyway. Set the controls. What's that? Don't mess with Texas. You know that, Marianne. Yeah. Don't mess with Texas. They're not America land. Okay. Thank you, Hippies. That was really kind of you. Share my donations thingy. Donna, be a go. What are you saying? So yeah, Independence Day was a really good movie. Aliens, right? Hang on, Martin. Your coffee cup has a kangaroo in flight. No, it's a hare. Yeah, we don't do kangaroos. I got a boomerang in case there is any kangaroos. You see it there? I'm an expert with a kangaroo, with a boomerang. They're really nice kangaroos. I'd love to meet one or something. Them Joeys. I've seen a couple of videos. You know, I watch cute videos, cute dog videos, and cute donkey videos are my favourite. Thanks. I don't age. Well, no, because that's all bollocks, mate. As soon as you work that one out, the better for us all, because age is only a number. I'm supposed to be old and stuff, apparently. On my back, he's fucking killing me, but that's all because of I've been bashed around this place for fucking almost 60 years. Spellry, Madonna, great to be here. It is good to be here. Right, let's look at some more stuff then, shall we? Guys and girls, let's look at medieval maps of Britain. Now, the medieval people, they were either really, really stupid or Britain looked this way. So let's look at some old maps of Britain. Funny enough, I've discovered this. I can't find the map exactly, but I know I got it somewhere. But I thought it was really interesting. They said modern medieval myths, the flat world, ancient sea kings and dragons. Well, I got the book Ancient Sea Kings, but they go on about the extremities of this place. The coastline of Antarctica in the far distant past is the ideal medieval maps, typically mark the edge of the known world with the caption, "Here be dragons, scare you away, tigers or monsters." So they literally had the extremities of this place on medieval maps, but they said, keep out, you've got monsters or dragons. So apparently this is a medieval map of Great Britain. This is Denmark, apparently. It says 16 something 2 on it. This is apparently Britain, but obviously it's orientated towards the west, which it's not. If you're wondering what all this splattering of islands is, I can only presume that's supposed to be the Hebrides. I don't know. It's confusing. What is more confusing is this. So, you with me, guys? You here with me? Okay, dig this. So this is England and Scotland. This lump here is apparently the Isle of Man. It's pretty big. So Hibernian, well, that's a pretty simple one. This one is the Emerald Isle. This is Ireland. So what one's this then? Well, it's not there in the real world. So what are they marking out here? Is this High Brazil, which is exactly where it's supposed to be, just off the coast of west coast of Ireland? We have another big, massive island called Telos. So where's that then? Because it's there in the medieval ages, but it's not there now. I think it's High Brazil. I think it was there. Occupied by black bunny rabbits and a sage, apparently. Sage and onion. Okay. So these cartographies are just bonkers. This is a medieval map. Brilliant, though. Cornwall here is Corinthia. But they spoke their own language, didn't they, the Celts? So they got a border there. And there's no Somerset or Avon on this map. It's all Dorset. I was down in Dorset last week where the apparent Vikings first landed, not Lindisfarne, like some narratives tell us. Anyway, so it's all squished together, isn't it? It's really weird. So this is apparently the Channel, and this is apparently like Thames estuary going into Thames, but it's Suffolk. This is Norfolk, and I'm guessing this is the Wash. Really confusing map this is. So where's Wales in all this? Well, there's Dorset, so it's above there. There you go. Good old Walia is this big. There's Snowdon, that literally says. So it's all squashed up, like there's no Pembrokeshire or anything. So let's go further north. What the shit is that? Oh my god. So that sort of, you know, if this is a real map of what really happened, this is a bit of a mind blow as well, isn't it? Because we know that there's two Hadrian's walls apparently built by the Romans to keep out the Picts with their Picts. And they built two walls, one here to Berwick and one here further north. Okay, two big walls. Okay, a bit like the Great Wall of Rome. No? Okay. So where Inverness is and Loch Ness, it is almost breaking the top bit of Scotland off in the modern day on the map, but it is in the old world. In this old map in the medieval period, there is a bridge connecting Scotland to England, and it's an island. So what do you make of that then? Oi, TJ, good to see you, my friend. Yes, 4th of July. That's what I'm doing. 4th of July, man. Born on the 4th of July. Tom Cruise's Wheelchair. Which is a really good film, by the way. Wow, what a mind blow. Scotland's got just like a land bridge or just a bridge. This would be the 3rd of 4th, was it? Would it? Yeah, because this says 5th there, 5th of 4th. I'm just guessing this could be the Clyde connecting it both. I'm not sure, but that shouldn't be like that. That is crazy. Dunfermline's there. You know, there's some narratives that say Jerusalem is Edinburgh, but I seen a map of America the other day, and when I was in the merch, I went to Boston, I went to Washington, okay, Baltimore, and they were all by here in a line, right? In England, in Lincolnshire, there's a Boston and there's a Washington in England. In Lincolnshire, I shit you not. Take a look, and they're the originals. And they're all in a line. And when I looked at the east coast of America, God almighty, if you lay one over the other, I'm going to show in my next post, it's like it's the same. And you get up to York, where New York is, and it's in the same place. They've literally copied the east coast of America to the east coast of Britain on a map, guys. No, they have. I'll show you. So this one's orientated in a westerly direction. You can see Wales is here. That's supposed to be the Bristol Channel, Isle of Wight. Them over there is the Norfolk Broads. And then coming up to here, Scotland is connected at this period. But if you look on a map, it's like it's almost an island. Yay, Cymru Bath. Yeah, it's Wales. I'm like literally a fanatical Welsh person at this moment. And it says Tatar. What's that? Does that say Tataria? Bataria. B-A-R-T-I-A. Batia. Okay. Thought it was Bataria. Looked like fucking Tataria then. Jesus, my hat jumped. I literally had jumped then. Wow. Imagine finding that on a map. And the Cornish people, they've got a little world of their own going down there. I used to do voyages out of Pa and Foy and other towns, take China clay to different places in the world, and it comes out of Cornwall. And the China cups and China porcelain they make in China, the clay comes from Cornwall for it, not China. So the China clay is shipped all the way to China, and then they mix porcelain, but all starts here. Also famous for the tin mines of Cornwall, Brit tin, some say. But these mines were owned by Joseph of Arimathea. These mines in Cornwall were owned by him. We'll get to all that later on, because that's a story screaming to be told. I'm going to show you one or two images of the weekend. We had a fantastic time, guys, and we're hoping to do more like this, because this is where it's at for the Truther community. Not all this tilly-tallying and bloody immaturity that's being exhibited and all that on the internet. It's just fucking so transparent and silly. It's unbelievable for us grown-up people here. And this is where it should be going, because the networking and the people that, you know, so many people listening, and, you know, just where it's at. So I did a presentation. I was last thing on a Sunday, so I was festival weary after 3 days, but I did all right. I batted one out for the team. Batty rum comes from the West Wales. Batty rum comes from West Wales. I don't know that. There's me when Martin meets David Weiss. What can I say about David Weiss? He's fucking awesome. Fucking love David Weiss. Man, did we have some fun. I knew it. I knew it was going to be awesome. So yeah, I hang around with Dave, and we all had a screen. Here's the guys here. Dave, this guy here I met, right? He's famous with the bong. His name's Chris. He's a gentle giant. Wonderful human being. Myself, Dave Mann, my blessed brother, and Dave Murphy, my brother, and Ian. Awesome. We love Ian. Ian is honorary Dave, and Zizi, who was absolutely awesome. We had such a good time, guys. We really did. So sharing that with you. These little things, they're called guinea fowl, and they just walk around going and stuff. So I tried hunting a guinea fowl to join their guinea fowl group and just be one of them. It's me and Cheryl in this house where we stayed called. We took a jaunt to Gaunt, basically, and I found the biggest tree in the world. Check this out, guys. It's literally like a Canadian redwood. Fucking knackered at the end of a festival and the last one on. And there we are in the flat earth tent where we flat smacked half the population of the world. We literally flooded the ether with truths. And Richard Vobes is an awesome chap. He's really funny. We had a good little giggle together. He's had his channel, unfortunately, squatted. This happened to me, happened to everyone. They always happen ahead of a convention. So, like, literally a week before he's in a festival, his channel gets taken down. It's like me going to a convention and my channel getting taken down. They just do that, trying to undermine you so you lose your shit or something, or just, I don't know what their fucking plan is. Fucking stupid. But anyway, there we are at breakfast. And we had flat earth laser beam things. But we did have a good time in a flat earth tent, which is where it was at. Saturday night, I'll show you the rest on the weekend because I got shitloads. This is my favorite photo. This is my dream come true, actually, because I wanted to go to Flattoberfest in the past, but that's all gone shit. That's what we're going there. But I wanted to. My fantasy was to hook up with all the flat earthers over in America, my family extended tribe members, for a photo like this, but it never happened. But Dave came over here with his drone and we did it here, and it was exactly like my dream. It happened. My dream came true. Man, oh man, if you would have felt it there, the vibration and the love, guys. You can just see it in their faces, can you? Everyone's being all grumpy and weird, and there was the rest of us bringing all that love into the realm. That winds up some people. That really does. They get a bit jello. They're like, "What the fuck are you having such a good time when I'm not having a good time?" It's like, well, that's about you, boo. You know? Anyway. Awesome content navigation, Martin. All is mind-blowing. Thanks so much for that, Petros. I'll just show a few more images. I've got shitloads to show more on the weekend, and this is only going to be a 2-hour. I've gone over. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you like. I've been going 100 minutes, and make sure to come back on the weekend. We've got a totally new form of thought for you all. Shiva Shampooage! Fat Club's in the house. Nice one, Shiva, brother. What's going on? Yeah, Richard was awesome. I really like that guy. I will get a hook up with him at some stage in the future. He said when his channel's back. So that'd be nice. And that's what I'll do with his subs. That's to do with, I really like the guy, and I think we could have a giggle. And it'd be really entertaining for the truth community, I think. So there's that. Okay. I can do interviews all the time, guys, on different channels. They ask me all the time, channels with fuckloads of subs, but I'm not doing that yet. That's not what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. My channel. I'm really enjoying doing my channel too. Okay. So that is Scotland, apparently an island. And it's Edinburgh in the 1850s. I got a collection of these. They are mind-blowing. Again, I think John Levy went through a collection of them in the past, but they were just, what a city. What architecture, just mental. Just have a little flick through. Look at these beautiful gardens they had in stately homes in the past. Just wander around. Clean, crisp air. Don't know you're born. So this is Cardiff Bay before the barrage went up. This is the Terra Nova. Captain Scott's on there, and they are going to Antarctica, apparently. So Scott can get lost 1 mile from the food dump, and he's going to say, I'm going to go out for maybe some time. And then he goes out for a walk and he never comes back and he dies. So this is the ill-fated voyage to Antarctica. Sounds like them medieval maps that I just mentioned. There'd be dragons, don't they? Don't come down here. Captain Scott got killed. It's really, really freezing. Do you notice how they keep doing that, the Shackleton narrative? Even though an old Scottish lady said, oh yeah, they filmed that up here in a loch. Shackleton didn't even go to fucking Antarctica. So it's all just scaremongering, so we don't go there. He probably went straight up to Scotland for the winter. Got a nice Scottish loch covered in snow. You can get that looking exactly like a bit of Antarctica. Guarantee you that. We did have a blast. Shiva. You know, she'd have so much fun, and we had a lot of fun. Bitcoin, good to see you, my friend. So, Helen, keep being you. Well, it's going to be really difficult for me to be anything else, isn't it, Helen? Especially at my age, you know, leopards and stuff. Yeah. Thanks, love. Oh, we can see a bit of Nelly there. Look, that's nice, isn't it? Oh, what happened to this bloody place then in India? Let's have a little look. Looks like Look, that goes underneath. That's a staircase goes underneath. Sorry, I don't know where it is. Except it's in India. Yeah, it looks proper messed up. Looks like something wrecked it. So an American street. I think this might be, if I can remember rightly, it does say on one of the signs, but I think it's Cincinnati. I'm not sure. Dental parlors. Oh, lovely. Wonder if people had a lot of dental problems in the past. They did in Britain. Godshoe. That's French, isn't it? Cut rate drugstore. Oh, cheap drugs. Okay, this guy, don't laugh at his foot. Okay, he's got a club foot. That was quite common in the past, apparently. And he's selling cough lozenges. So you're getting prevents cough, cures you. So he may be a snake oil salesman, but you know, sometimes no change. There he goes. Get that on your own cough. And cough sweets really do help. So the churches were so expensive and posh in the past. What you got to do is put all like hay all over the floor, and then you can bring the horses in and feed them. Yeah, wait to turn up and find a church, eh? Whew. Look at all this gold, boss. Yes, well, you can take that down. Fucking hell. Garlics Bakery. Let's have a look at this beautiful little. This is America. I think this is Philly. I think this is Cincinnati. I can't remember. I think it is. I'll tell you when I see the tower. So it's got electric trams. Nice bit of cobble too. Yeah, Shroppy images. They're the best. You can hire a car hurler. Car for hire by the hour. Oh, that's nice. Better than the taxi drivers of today. Curio store. Curiosities. Imagine a Victorian This is I can't remember. Looks a bit New Orleans, doesn't it, with these beautiful balustrades. Wrought iron balconies. They get these in New Orleans, don't they? Oh, there's LA. I know that one. So California, LA flight goes down there, and you've got a cable car that goes all the way up as well. But these Tatarian buildings in LA are just nuts. Set the controls for the heart of the sun. So it could be LA, these, you know. America. Electric trams, spaghetti sky wires, and architecture. It's very similar, this bit, to Britain. Oh, look at that. It's like a dome with tiles on it. Like a Moorish dome, actually. Wonder what that two are talking about. I want to eavesdrop into the past, see what they're talking about. If you see anything that I miss, like that weird thing there, whatever it is, give me a shout, because I don't know what that is. But vanilla skies, there's a lot of aerials going on there as well, isn't there? Okay. That is apparently the buzz bombs. There's a thing called Buzz Bomb Alley in London during World War II. And apparently these V2 rockets came over, Werner von Braun's bombs. They fly over the channel, they go in a straight line, and they land somewhere in London. And apparently that's one going off in London. Only the people are going shopping. They ain't even turning around or giving a shit. There's no warning. No one's going to their shelter. She's going to work. He doesn't even bother looking around. Does that make sense? Something wrong with the narrative for that war, guys. It really is. This is from a movie with Peter Sellers. I thought there was a lot, you know, this is the Ark of the Covenant. I thought there was a lot of hermetic symbology in that. Oh, look at all this Tatarian stuff. Ginormous buildings. Sheesh. So yeah, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be packing this in. It's 222. I've been going for 2 hours 20 minutes. And there's another exposition. They had them in Japan, so the same style, even in Japan. Something going on with Japan as well. Look at that beautiful picture. Oh, that's going to be a future thumbnail. I love that. There was a guy got his toe caught under there though. Fell back a bit. That might not be true. Why have they got an Antiquitech device on top of it? Because it's really, really high up and it catches a charge. Charges that stone. That is in Australia. That was in Melbourne before they Sydney before they put the Opera House on that side. There was a little castle. Here's Jesus on the wrecking ball. Eagles, wings open. It's got a bit of a lizard thing going on there. But it's all, I'm sure it'll all end well. That's like Beaker. Remember Beaker off the Muppets? He's the only orange, because he's a scientist, he's the only orange Muppet, isn't he? That makes perfect sense. Allgate Pump in the past, and there it is now. So they had all that juiciness going on. Everyone can have a drink. Nowadays, oh, you can look at it, but you can't have any nice juicy water out of it. Port Arthur in Tasmania is pretty cool for old world buildings. I looked at that, but I looked at Hobart too. It's probably worth a vlog. Just get Kelly to tarry in Australia onto it. She's looking at all that area. Beaker used to say meet me, and now he says me. I have to check that out, Shiva, just to verify that. What about Hurdy Gurdy Man, the chef? Hang on, let me think about Beaker. Me. Oh, I don't know. I know what I'll be Googling straight after this. Beaker, you all are. You know you're Googling Beaker to check it out, aren't you? Let's not listen. We covered a lot of deep wounds within the Truther community over the last 6 months. We've got a lot of grounds. We feel really proud of ourselves. It's been a clusterfuck, a shitstorm, but we sorted it out. And the meepers and the beepers, we hold hand in hand now. Oh yeah, meepers and beepers, we solid, yeah. We's like, think of something that's really close. Because I don't think I was going to say Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder, but I don't think that's a good analogy. Well, two things that are really close together, matches in a box. There you are. 100%. It was a meet me. I like Shiva. Do you know all of this work I've done to heal all of this rift that has been going on? Yeah. All of these meepers cranking up saying, it's meep. What the fuck is he saying? It ain't a beep. It's a meep. And I'm saying it's a beep. It's a meep. I'm saying it's both. It's a meep beep or a beep meep. It doesn't even matter. Put it upside down, back to front. It's all the same. Wow, look at that. Do you know who done that? Yeah, it was a monk. A monk did it with a chisel one day. It's like, oh yeah, just look at that big massive bit of stone sticking out the side of that building. I think I'll just chisel the fuck out of it. So we haven't got Hairy Mary in this episode, but we got Hairy Michael. Here he is. And he prayed for a bit of bread. And here's the angel giving him a bit of lamb's bread. We all know about what's going on, really, don't we, guys? What's she pointing at that mirror for? She's pointing in the mirror. She's got one of those strange balls going on. And they got a massive conical shell that man just fell out of. And in the middle, a mirror. Here comes the mirror man. Ooh. Anyway, so they got Tesla. They got Van de Graaff generators on the mast of this old galley. Well, they could do. There's a pair there. There's a pair there, and a pair there. I think they could be harnessing electric. So you can dive into that. You can literally stand at the top and dive into that. Now you can't. You hit the floor and die. Don't do this at home. Bad advice, mate. Okay. Coming back, guys. Set the controls for the sun. Right, I'm going to be back on flat today. That's me for just a quick visit, a special for Thursday night, bringing the love, being in high vibration, showing you some beautiful pictures, and definitely posing some questions to things that do not make sense in the official historical narrative. Wouldn't you agree? Good, thanks. So let's give a few of the shouts, and I'm gonna. You can't hear me. Can you hear me? Thanks, Hippie. Set the controls for. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it on my microphone. Yeah, I can hear me. Okay. Nice cut. Thanks, Shivage. I'm going to go now, so I'll see you all on the scene a bit later. See what's going on out there now. Having some munchage and then going to have a little scout around. Hit the like button. Thank you, Marianne, for that. And Oki, good to see you. We agree. Oh, thank you. TD? Yeah, sounds okay. I know TD. Somebody never had their headphones. If their headphones fell out, and they're like, I can't hear. It's like, no, because your headphone fell out. Anson Howard, good to see you, mate. So yeah, it's Mary. Hi, Mary, love. And all you guys. So thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing vibration. Erno's in the house. Hi, mate. Good to see you. Then Big Templars round. So we'll that later on as well. Christine, good to see you. Laser etched, very possibly. Good one, Vaughn. And Mills. Really motherfucking rain. I don't know what that means. Okay, Eddie, good to see you. And Vibes, and I'm going to cut this now. I'm going to be back on flat today. Make sure to come back. I'll be approximately around 9 p.m. GMT, flat a day night. This is the place to be for the upper vibration. This is the place to be for the juice, as I'm sure lots of you know by now. Okay. I love Baker. He's not my favourite Muppet, but I do love him. I love all the Muppets, really. Is Joy there? Mister. Okay. Be a guy. For fuck's sake. All right, then. I know I've seen the 222. I was going to go at the 222. Be a guy. Spellbreaker, good to see you as well. Oh, thank you for being here. Boom Shanker, may the seeds of your line speak forever. Fruitful in the belly of your woman. And stay epic. See you flat a day. Anyway, there's a surprise post for today. Thanks, guys. Okay.